Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California. Right. Now I don't know. It looks like it's connected up there. You know, the stupid butt thing, I couldn't, it disappeared again. And this time, I swear to God, I didn't do anything wrong.
You're just not a butt man. That's why.
I didn't do anything wrong this time. I stayed away from the butt all week. Didn't touch the butt, and the butt still disappeared. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
But anyway, welcome to the program. It's KGXT Studios bringing you the Gen X Talks podcast live 200 feet below occupied California. All right, let me make sure we're going here. Let's see. Doom, doom, doom. The pod track is the lights are going up and down. The sound, Studio Streamlabs
Radio Land
has the lights going side to side. It looks like the numbers are rolling. Okay.
Are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording the numbers.
You always start it on the radio, and then you forget. You just start going.
I go like 10 minutes in, like, oh shit, I haven't been recording this whole time. No. It looks like the numbers are moving the way they're supposed
Okay, would you do the opening for the podcast?
I just did.
You just did it for the radio.
No, that was the whole thing. I did it. It was recording. I recorded it.
Man, you better.
I did it. I recorded.
You better.
I did. I'm just fine. Calm your tits. I got it right. Jesus H.
Staff is checked in. Sound is good.
Sound is good. Is that Trippy? Trippy's
Yes.
good about it. Trippy's got you.
He's our
Copy that.
sound man.
You know, I got into an argument with one of the staff. I won't tell you which one. I said, usually when we're texting, I go, copy.
Yeah.
I write, copy that. Let you know that it's a kind of military-esque. You say copy. One time I said Roger Wilco. Now, that's old. Right?
Way old. You just aged yourself.
Yeah, but that's like even before us. That's World War II-ish. Roger Wilco.
Yes.
And I had gotten to a big discussion. Well, what'd you say, Roger Wilco? And I said, well, I don't know.
That's our new staff member, Roger Wilco.
That's our new staff member, Roger Wilco. And it was. But I started thinking about, well, what do I didn't really know what I meant when I said that, other than I was saying, yes, I agree with what you're saying. Roger Wilco, I got it. Copy.
Roger. Mm-hmm.
Although I thought about it for a second. Now, this is the good part. I didn't even have to Google this.
Well, okay.
Well, I thought Roger was a way of saying right. Like, that was Roger. Copy that, Roger. That's what they said in the military in the 40s, World War II era time.
All right.
That was pretty common. And Wilco, now I didn't look this up. I'm guessing.
W?
Well, it could Wilco mean I will comply. Roger will comply. Roger Wilco. I don't know if that's right. I don't know. I postulated that in my head.
But you never looked it up.
No, I didn't.
Because you thought you were right.
Absolutely. In fact, I won.
And you're still questioning yourself till this day.
Well, because I'm not sure, but I was dominant in that conversation. It's like, look, dumbass, I said Roger Wilco because that's a military term from the 40s. Roger means right. It's an R. Wilco means will comply. You shorten it up for military. Catch up, man. Get on board.
So you had your big boy pants on.
Had my big boy pants on, but I have no idea
and
if I
you
was
walked
right.
away feeling confident.
But I have no idea if it was a false comment.
Smart. I guess that's one way to handle a conversation.
Well,
throw the bullshit, walk with confidence, and just, I won that one.
Well, you know what they said in our generation, fake it till you make it. Just keep pretending you know what's going on.
I guess so.
Oh, man, that's
Hey, good
funny.
morning.
Good morning. So
I beat you up this morning.
You shouldn't beat me up. That's against the law.
Beat you up this morning. Not like hit you over the head, although.
No, you didn't. I was in my chair when you got up. I was already in my chair at my desk.
You weren't.
Yes, I was.
Oh, yeah, you were.
Yes.
But you went back to sleep.
That's so. You just ruined your whole thing.
But you went back to bed. I stayed up.
That's true.
I kissed you goodnight.
You did. Yeah. And then
you had a rough night.
You kept fucking with you kept reaching over and trying to touch me last night. I'm like, I'm trying to go to sleep. Stop it.
I needed some human touch.
But get your dog or something. I can't.
I said human, not canine.
I never thought I'd get so old to get to a point in my life when I'd say about a girl in bed with me, quit touching me.
Don't touch me.
Stop.
I get it. Okay. That's how we're going to go.
It was a rough night. I just didn't have time to,
All I did was put my foot on you. Wasn't like I laid on top of you or cuddled or spooned.
Don't act like you haven't done that. When you have bad nights before in our marriage, you have literally climbed on top of me and laid there and gone, shh, just hold me. I'm going to sleep. And I have to lay there.
Because I put my head on your chest and it makes me feel better. That's my happy place.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to go to sleep. God damn it. Hey, I got one stupid question, and I was waiting for you to get in here. You really got in here late today, too.
Whoa. I was in here. I opened up everything. I turned on your lights, started the computer.
I kind of figured because it smells in here. I mean, it really smells.
What?
It smells. You did something in here. I walked in, and it has a woman smell in here. Something's going on.
It smells manly, doesn't it?
Well, what did you do?
What do you mean, what I do? I put in a fragrance thing, so because you always walk in and goes, "Good, it smells awful in here."
It doesn't smell manly. It smells pink. It doesn't smell.
Wait, what?
Smell
like
manly.
The color pink?
Yeah.
I didn't know pink had a smell.
Well, it does, and this is it. If you breathe deep right now, this smell, you can. Yeah, I wouldn't either if I were you. The whole studio smells like a big, wet, pink, soapy boob.
What?
It does.
It's got a soapy boob.
Well, I'm assuming that's where the smell's coming in with the big. That's what it smells like. Look, if you're not comfortable talking in the studio with a big, wet, soapy boob,
you can't even say it.
We can move on if you want to.
Wait a minute. Well, I don't know what a soapy boob smells like, first of all.
You've never been in a shower and been soaping up your boobs and breathed in. That's what a soapy boob smells like.
No, can't say that.
The studio has a soapy boob smell to it today.
Only you would know. Let's just move on. Let's we're not going anymore. Let's just go on.
All right. Listen, I want to complain to you about something. I was pissed the other day. Now, I've said...
When aren't you? Wait, just one day?
Oh, yeah, just one day. Well,
okay.
This was my morning angry. My morning pissed off.
All right.
So we have decided, I kind of decided for us, no more...
Oh, wait. We were together in this?
Well, I'm trying to include you, but basically I laid down the law.
Oh, here we go.
I made a husband decision, a leader of the house.
You pulled your husband card.
I pulled my husband. No more fucking DoorDash or Uber Eats. Because we were doing that a lot because there was just the two of us. And
we had a lot going on.
We had a lot going on. But I said, look, we got to fucking stop this shit. Go buy some groceries and get your barefoot ass back in the kitchen and let's make some stuff.
Then you better hire me some extra help.
Whoa.
Somebody to help with KGXT and Gen X Talks.
So DoorDash, I broke down. We've been good about that. We have not been buying stuff. We've been making stuff at home for just you and I. It's worked out really well.
I have been making. You better be on the eyes and we's stuff around here this morning.
I just said I was including you, didn't I?
You don't cook.
We made a decision about DoorDash.
You don't cook. You microwave.
We made a decision about DoorDash. We have been preparing food. We have been doing really well.
I was told what to do.
You know what?
Whatever.
Just try to be a team player on this, would you?
I'm trying.
All right. So we've been really good about that, except the other day you were sleeping or something, or you didn't feel well, and I thought, fuck it, I wanted a burger from across town, and I'm thinking, I got to work. I couldn't leave the studio. I'm just working. So I went to DoorDash, and I'm like, all right, just give me a couple double cheeseburgers here. So I do the thing where you put in the stuff, and for the amount was really high. The
for one burger?
No, I got one burger. It was a meal, get yourself a drink or something, and the fries are the deal. And
there is no value meals on DoorDash.
No, that's for goddamn sure. There's no such thing as a value meal.
To everybody out there, no value meals.
And I looked at the fees on DoorDash from this place: $3.99 delivery fee, $3.99 service fee, and then a $3 we're out of your area, we have to drive too far fee.
Extra gas money.
That's $11.
Extra.
$11 in fees. And I was like, motherfucker, I was pissed.
How much was your burger? Fries?
I don't remember.
$25?
No, it wasn't that bad, but it was just, I was mad about if you could say, well, you can order DoorDash and it's an extra $4 or $5. All right, I'll pay the $5 because I don't have to drive across town.
Right.
But I'm already at $11. And then, so the tip comes up. Now,
I wonder if DoorDash is the same in every state.
I don't know. That's why I'm kind of bringing it up, because I don't know if everyone's got this or if it's just they're trying to.
It's another California thing.
Or they're just fucking me personally. They just don't like me.
Oh, they know who you are, so they're coming just after you.
There's a rate for me when it's like when
this man orders a lot. Let's get him for as much money as possible.
Yeah, this guy's an asshole. It's the general orders. We have a rate for the general.
I was just thinking our gas prices are so high. Maybe they.
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's $11, and I always tip. I always give a couple bucks tip. Not a lot, but I do tip. And this time I was so pissed. And at this moment, I'm still continuing with the DoorDash order.
Wow. You were that
I was hungry. Yeah. I was hangry.
Hangry. No kidding.
I couldn't find a Snickers bar. So I went to the tip and I put in $0. I've never put in 0 as a tip before. Even if it's like $1 or $2.
Oh, I have, and I wait till after it gets delivered to get the tip.
I've never put in 0. So I click the like, okay, let's continue, and it goes to the tip screen. And now remember, I just said we haven't used DoorDash and Uber Eats in a while, so there's some new things for me on here. It pops up with a picture of a person delivering food. Yeah. It's got this guy getting out of a car like a college kid with a smile like, hey, I'm working my way through college and, make sure you tip me. And it's a very encouraging picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, boy.
The marketing's awesome on
the marketing was, it was.
Kudos to the marketing guy.
It was almost working. I was like, wow, I really want to help this kid out. And of course, you don't get the person that's on the picture ever.
No, it's usually a middle-aged person.
Yeah, it's a middle-aged guy.
Not in college.
Who's got, he's zipping up his pants and pulling on his belt as he walks up the driveway with your food.
2.5 kids trying to keep it going.
Right.
Pay his mortgage.
So
off DoorDash.
Yeah, off DoorDash. So obviously. I put in 0 and I hit enter, and the next screen that popped up was a screen I'd never seen before. And it's a paragraph, and it basically says, now listen, if you pick 0 for your tip, you may not get your food on time. You may get your food.
What?
Yeah, this is true. It said you may get your food late. And it goes on to tell you DoorDash drivers work for their tips. And if they have the option of delivering your food last and delivering other people's food first if they tip and you don't.
Wow.
I mean, it was a paragraph. It was a paragraph.
Do you know what else they have? I bet you don't notice. When you go to deliver, they say, do you want it speedy, like really fast, priority, or whatever? So if a DoorDash person has 2 orders, the one before you or after you picks priority, you're second.
Okay, and here's what I did notice that, but guess what? So it's like the priority service. It costs $3. That's an
additional fee.
It's an additional fee, and it says you could if you pick priority, your food could be here from 10 to 10:15 in the morning. If you don't pick it, it could be here from 10:10 to 10:20.
Wow, 10 minutes later.
It's an overlapping time. So it could show up.
You could be priority.
Yeah, it could show up at 10:15 either way.
Do you want to take a gamble? Want to go with that?
If it shows up at 10:15, that's like, well, that was your priority. No, that was also the regular time. Was 10:10 to... Oh, I've done a lot of thinking on this.
Sounds like that card game at Durango that we played. that one that we were betting on?
Oh, my God. That was so confusing. Yeah, we played that. That was one... It
was a fun game, but it's more, you want to bet a little more?
It was hard to catch on to for me.
Yeah, but it's always like, hey, you want to put a little more money down? Yeah, you're right.
The priority was like, you can spend $3 and get your meal from 10 to 10:15, or don't spend it and get it from 10:10 to 10:20. And I'm like... So at 10:12, it could go either way. You could get it at 10:12 and go, fuck, why did I pay the priority?
All right. So you're at the tipping screen and they said...
No, I'm done. As soon as they had that paragraph and said, your driver is not going to bring your food on time if you don't tip them, I said, I'm already $11 into this. Fuck you. And I quit doing it.
Wait till they automatically put tip like they do at the restaurants.
Yeah. I lost my shit with that. I almost deleted the app, but God, it just fucking annoys me.
Can I double down on that? Our daughter, that's the food server, was over the other night, and she does lots of parties at the restaurant that she got, a high-scale Italian restaurant.
Right.
No matter what, listen to this, and I get this now that I'm hearing from her. She goes, she has parties from like 10 people to 25, 30, 40, 18%, and she goes, nobody ever does more than 18%. Like she runs the party all by herself. Okay. And she just said, she goes, sometimes I wish they give me a few extra bucks for a really big party, but she says it's very rare. And she just said, she goes, I work really hard in trying to balance everything and stuff like that. But I guess I don't ever see it from a server's point of view.
Okay. Then I'll tell you my point of view on that.
Okay.
If it's a big convention, if you got 20 people, they could build a tip in there because you got 20 people. It's all one thing, and out of 20 people, 6 are going to tip really well. 3 aren't going to tip at all. 4 are going to tip a little bit.
Even if everybody pitches in $2,
but they're not going to. It's not how it works. So
I know.
I would understand a restaurant putting in a fixed gratuity for a big group like that.
Yeah,
but not at all. An individual or a couple or a small family.
Right.
Here's why. What is the tip designed for? If you do a really exceptional job as my server, as my waitress, I'm going to give you a tip. Thank you very much for extending so much extra effort.
And she believes that too. Our daughter believes that too. She just says, she goes, when it comes to a party, it's like they have, the people that walk in there for these parties are different. Like they have a different
I got it,
thing
but let me finish.
Go ahead.
The thing is, if you're at a family and you say, listen, I'm going to tip you because you've done an exceptional job and I'm going to give you a couple bucks for putting forth a lot of effort, you earn that. What is the incentive for a waitress if the gratuity's built in every time? They're not going to try hard.
Right.
They're not going to give you that personal service. They're not going to try to earn that gratuity. It's built in. That's the part I don't like. I can see that in a big group. Okay, I can go along with that because there's 20 people. Some aren't going to tip and some are. And it's, no matter how hard you try, there's the good people aren't going to just tip you a bunch to cover the whole group. All right, I got it. But on an individual one, a couple, a family, absolutely not.
How do you feel about doing the 18% like gratuity or whatever it is, and then, say that's paid? What about other people in the party just dropping a couple bucks on top of that?
I think they should. I
think so too.
Because especially with most groups, there's always one person paying. If one person comes in and says, I'm putting the event on either as a business or there's just one, maybe grandma and grandpa are paying for the whole family. You got 18 people there for a family event and they're paying for it. If I'm not paying for the meal and I'm part of the party, yeah, I'm absolutely going to chip in a couple bucks to contribute. Absolutely.
And your saying is?
Oh, yeah. I don't believe in tipping. I believe in over tipping. That's true.
That is your motto.
No one's going to know what movie that reference is from, but that'd be a good pull if you guys did.
Maybe they'll put it in the comments.
So anyway, the moral of the story is fuck DoorDash. I think we should be clear on that.
Well, let's continue last night. What happened last night? Because, you don't know. You said you wanted a pizza. So I ordered a pizza for you. They ended up using DoorDash to deliver. I called.
Yeah, see, that's weird. Why did I
don't want to say their name. I called a specific company.
Right.
Directly to the pizza place, the actual pizza place. Didn't use DoorDash.
Right.
They used DoorDash to use as a delivery. So for some unknown reason, also on DoorDash, our house is not on their radar.
Well,
on their map.
It puts our pin of where our location is on the wrong side of a brick wall on a busy street. You're like, we don't live there.
And there's a lot of people that don't know how to read a map or only go with the DoorDash map and don't use any other map. So they end up getting lost. And I follow them on the map. And then I finally go, would you like some help? And that's what happened.
How can these dumbasses, these fucking dumb millennials, park on the other side of the wall and then call us and go, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. Like, well, dumbass, do you see the house over the wall? Yeah. That's where you got to deliver it. Okay, how do I do that? Go through the fucking neighborhood, dude. Get out a map.
That's what I was telling this guy. I said the same thing. I'm like, hey, you're sitting. I go, where are you? He goes, on the other side of the wall. I said, go up to the first entrance into the housing tract. You can't go right. You got to go left.
Yeah.
I said, make 3 lefts and go all the way down to the cul-de-sac.
Right.
He still got lost. I couldn't have made that any clearer. 3 left.
Yeah, you're only
there.
3 lefts. Just the first 3 lefts you can make. You make a left, next available, make a left,
and
next available.
And he got lost. So now I had to maneuver. I said, you know what? I'm going to go stand outside in the middle of my cul-de-sac. I said, I'm going to stand there. I'm going to wave my hands.
Bring a flashlight.
I'm going to wave you in, buddy, okay? So finally he tells me where he's at. And I'm like, okay, now go back and make a right. And you'll be there. You'll see me in the cul-de-sac. And he did.
Standing out there in the street.
Oh,
you got those 2 red glowing pylons in each hand.
Pulling the airplane in.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
You're guiding the airplane down the tarmac. Come on now, let's go.
Oh no, I don't get it. So yeah, DoorDash. So not only do we have problems, the pizza place does. So hey, by the way, I want to thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been weeks since you wrote on the shower door.
Here we go.
But
I knew
not this morning. What happened?
Okay, listen, I stopped drawing on the shower because you make fun of me on the podcast.
Okay, then why'd you start again?
Because it was really important. I had something I had to write down.
All right. I'll bite. What was so important this morning? I couldn't figure it out.
Do you really want to know?
Well,
do you want to know or not? I mean, if you really want to know, I'll tell you, but not if you're just being an asshole about
I want to know so I know if I should erase it or not. If it's a good idea, maybe
Really?
I'll leave it up.
Really?
No. No. I thought you'd bite. I thought
you're not
you'd bite
going to
on
leave
that
it up
one.
either way. You're going to wash it off. All right, listen.
I thought you'd bite on that one. Oh man, she's on my side, but no.
No, not at all.
It's coming off.
That's why I had to ask you, because that didn't sound like you. You sound like you're going to erase it anyway.
All right. Is this just way over my pay grade right now?
I don't.
Are you nerding out?
Okay, what do you mean nerding out? Why? Because if I have a smart idea, I'm all of a sudden nerd. You want me to be a dumb husband, a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert? You're happy with that? No.
You're the one that says that mantra.
You should say that you're happy when I reach for the stars. Okay. So I used to think there was just two ways of time travel.
Oh man, here we go. I told you he was nerding out.
Two ways.
Okay.
There's the scientific way, which is you got to plot speed, gravity, you got to go fast, you got to bend light. There's a scientific way. I don't know what it is, but there's a scientific way. Man, no one's figured it out yet. All right.
That we know of.
That's one. The second way is luck or random. Like you're walking through a forest and you lean up against a tree and the tree has
and the wormhole opens?
Yeah, like a lever, and you fall through the base of a tree trunk and you're in a wormhole. Right.
Like
now who's nerding out?
Like Harry Potter when you run into the... Oh, sorry.
What's Harry Potter got to do with this?
He has a little time travel.
Where?
Well, when you have to go to Hogwarts, you got to run into the brick wall.
Why are you talking so fast?
Because I don't want to nerd out right now.
But you're nerding out. I don't understand what... I never watched Harry Potter, so I don't know what you mean.
So get to track 9 3/8. I believe that's the number. 9 3/4. 9 3/4. That's the track number you have to get to. Do you think there's a 9 3/4? No.
Probably not in real life.
You have to take your cart at a full speed and run into a brick wall, and the brick wall opens up, and you walk through a wormhole. You run through a wormhole.
What drunken stoned person wrote that as a script or a book that said you got to run your
J.K.
car
Rowling's.
full speed into a brick wall and you'll get to Hogwarts?
J.K. Rowling's.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Continue. So we're talking about time travel. I'm with you.
So two
I am
ways.
smelling what you are stepping.
There we go.
Hey, boy.
So my thought was always two ways of time travel. One was scientific and one was random. But then I started thinking about it.
Oh.
There's a movie called Somewhere in Time. I don't know if you ever saw it.
I love that movie
You've seen that?
much
You
with
saw
Jane
that.
Seymour and Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
And how did he achieve time travel is he wore a suit from that era.
Yes.
He was in a room decorated from that era. And his mind performed the time travel.
Yeah, I love that movie. It tripped me out when I saw it, but it is I'd watch that again.
Okay. So this is a lot like the Stuart Blevett story. Remember, I told that at the Reno dinner that night with Ben Matlock and Big JC.
Yeah.
And we talked about Stuart going up into the hills and only having things from 1849 around him.
Right.
Okay. So that's the premise of the movie. And the premise of Stuart's time travel. And now I'm thinking about it myself. Now, I think there has to be a place for this to happen. Now, you Christopher Reeves, he had to decorate a room and he had to wear a suit and I'm like, why? Why? If you're going to go back in time to that era, why couldn't you go out to the middle of the desert and lay down? The desert's been the same for 200 years. If you're going to have if your surroundings have to match your mental state, he went to a lot of trouble to be in town. I'm thinking go out to the middle of the desert, lay down in some old clothes, and boom, you're there. But then I took it a step further. I don't think that would really work. I think that's Hollywood. I think, now this is an original thought this is my part of it. This is where I take it to
From 2024.
It's a next level thought.
It's not from 1973.
No,
this is an original thought of 2024.
Thought. Right.
Okay.
I have to zero myself out, and I don't know how to do that, and that's what I was working on in the shower.
What does that mean, zero yourself out?
Okay, I need to figure out the Mayan calendar and how many days on the Mayan calendar and when it resets. But they also have a century reset. They have like a 400-year, 260 days in a year, 400 years. I got to figure out when the zero date is for the Mayan calendar. Then I had to go to 0 degrees latitude on the planet Earth and 0 degrees longitude on the planet Earth. And I thought, okay, please don't let that be like in New York City, because that's not going to look old. And it's off the shore of Africa.
You looked it up?
I looked it up. It's in the water. I'm like, great, because the ocean looks the same.
That's
the
true.
Ocean's. I could be out there, but now I got to find a way to be out in the ocean. I can't be in a modern rubber dinghy. No. And the only way to, this is where I'm leaving this, the only way to assure my success is to go out to that exact location, which it says there's an island there, Null Island, and you go.
Null. That's zero.
Yeah.
Null is zero.
It's not really there. There's no island. They just wrote that. It's a fictitious made up island at 0, 0.
That's kind of cool.
But you know what is there? There's a like a buoy in the water marking 0, 0. Yeah, I got.
So you got to stand on it.
No, I got to sink that. That wasn't there in the 1700s. I got to sink that thing first of all, which is probably
or move it one latitude over.
Put it on 1 and 1 instead of 0 and 0.
Just move it over.
Well, I got to clear my mind. So that buoy's got to sink, and then the truest way to not do I get old clothes, an old bathing suit? How about if I just go naked?
I was just going to say, zero it out, baby.
Zero it out. Go naked at 0 degrees longitude, 0 degrees latitude. Figure out when the Mayan calendar hits the 0 mark for the reset, right? And then I'm good. I could lay there floating in the water and zero myself out, and I'm ready to go. I think that's my best shot at the third part of time travel. If it's not science, and if it's not random, and like Christopher Reeve somewhere in time, if he used his mind, if I follow that strategy, which it's not a movie, it's a strategy. This is a playbook. This is a schematic. I think I found a better way to do it. Now, this wouldn't make for a good Hollywood movie, which is probably why they didn't use this background for their premise. But I think I'm onto something. Mayan calendar, 0, 0, and zero myself out.
Why are you using the Mayan calendar?
I think that's the right one. I looked into the Egyptian one too. There was a couple, not the Julian calendar, not the new stuff we go by. That's all fucked up. No. You got to go back to people that knew. I think the Mayans fucking got it right. That's why they stopped in 2012.
All right. Well, I used to think you were one of the smartest men I know.
And now? What?
Now I think I need to meet more men. That's
why? Because the pool of men you mow it's a shallow end of the pool. Because you only know 5 of us. And I'm smart. But if you knew 100 men, I wouldn't seem so smart.
While you were saying that story, I do have something funny to share.
Okay, good.
And I may be just blowing my mind and being really blonde right now. But let's go with this.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know what? If we could travel back in time, I would like to go back to when Jesus was walking the earth. I want to go back because of all the shit that's happening in the world and go to him and go, all right, what's it going to be, buddy, when you coming back? That's what I want to do. I want to go have a conversation. Yeah.
He's not going to tell you.
Why?
Because he's going to know who you are. He was 100% Jesus, but he was also 100% God at the same time.
Correct.
And so he's going to be like, okay, look, I know why you're here, Gen X mom, and you shouldn't be here. You probably your husband probably taught you the zeroed out trick. You laid in the middle of the Atlantic in the water.
Yeah, Jesus, it's okay, man.
Yeah,
it's cool.
And you got
you're
here.
God, so you know when you're coming back. You know when you're going to clean up this world. So
I'm not telling you. Although he could tell you.
Jesus, man. I came all the way back in time to see you, dude. Give me a little.
You should tell him, say, you know what? I could have gone anywhere, and I chose to see you.
I chose you, big guy.
I could have been on opening day of Disneyland.
There were a lot of things after you went up to heaven that I could go see,
I could have got a front row seat at the opening of Star Wars at the Mann's Chinese Theater in Hollywood.
But I chose
you. Yeah, he could tell you because you went back to our time. You'd just be a lunatic.
Exactly.
If you told everybody. But
I could come home and tell you. I could tell everybody on the podcast, get prepared because it's happening soon.
Then you'd have a bunch of people on the podcast going, you're a fucking lunatic.
I was just thinking it just being funny. That's because I'm studying Revelation.
I thought about that before, if you went back and saw Jesus across the room, if there was time travel, and you went back and saw Jesus and he knew who you were, I wonder what kind of look you get, dude, you're not supposed to be here.
Go back.
Yeah,
it's like you looking at a dog. He'd be looking at me going,
get out of the house.
Get out of the house.
That's right. Go back outside. Go on now.
Get your ass home.
Well, I don't know. Plus, I don't.
Wasn't that kind of cool that I thought that?
Yeah.
How many people pick that time travel?
I'm just mad that you don't steal my time travel stuff, man. I'm working hard on this. I don't want you to come in and just use it because you didn't put in any work for this. All right. My dad's a television repairman. I'm using his ultimate set of tools to get this done. You cannot just swoop in and kite my doobage.
I didn't.
No, but you're talking about it.
I just was going with your theory.
All right. Speaking of fun things to do, I have a story that I need to present to the audience, to the jury.
What?
About you.
Wait.
Yep. You just sit there and look pretty. That's all I want you to do.
I don't trust you.
I know. And you're not going to shut up. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you some evidence today because it's the yes or no. Is my wife completely full of shit? Total bad move on her part? Or was this okay to do? So,
I'm trying to think what it is.
It's Snickerdoodles.
Oh, okay.
All right. Snickerdoodle cookies.
I know where you're going.
A lot of people have had this, had Snickerdoodles before. And my grandmother used to make the best Snickerdoodles ever. My mother, of course, her daughter, could make them 99.99% close. They're very similar. Nobody else in our family, no aunts, no cousins, nobody, no girls I ever dated, no chicks I've ever married. Everyone has tried to make Snickerdoodles with the recipe, the same recipe.
Well, can I interject something about the recipe?
Are you going to fuck up the story?
No, I want to tell how I got the recipe, first of all.
Okay, don't fuck up the story. I'm going to be pissed. Go ahead.
I'm not. I went up to visit your grandma.
Right.
And we were going through, I was asking her for a bunch of recipes, stuff that she had and everything.
Right.
And she could write out all of them. And then when I asked for the famous Snickerdoodle recipe, she doesn't have a recipe.
What do you mean she doesn't have a recipe?
It's all in here. It's all in her head.
What?
In her mind. Yeah.
Are you serious? She didn't have a recipe written?
No.
She had, remember that green thing, that metal green?
I know.
With all the cards in it?
Because if you see the recipe card that I have in the kitchen, it is not, it's really not right.
She literally had a green.
Yeah, I know. That's the one she was looking through.
3x5 holder of cards. And she probably had, I don't know, 70 cards in there of her favorite things.
Well, she does. And that's what we were going through. And she was rewriting them for me. But then she goes, I don't think I have the Snickerdoodle recipe. I go, well, then you walk me through how you do it.
Wow.
And she was just like my grandma. And she goes, well, you need, sugar and you need this and you need that. And I said, well, how much? And she goes, she's like looking at her hand going, I guess a cup. And so if you look at my recipe card, I wrote it as she was talking.
You're interpreting how much she's guessing was in her hand.
Yeah, so it's not like a recipe like, hey, turn on the oven at 400 degrees.
Okay.
I had to chicken scratch it out.
Wow, you really got out in front of the story how this isn't, Your Honor, it's not my fault and here's why.
No,
okay.
no.
Right,
I think it was just amazing. So I wanted people to know that's...
Yeah, I get why you're telling us. Like, there is no recipe. And so you're making this up as you went along. I get it. All right.
What?
So my whole life, every woman I've ever been around has tried to make this. My brother was married to a woman when he was young. I think he was 20 and she was 19. They lasted about 2 years. She made it one time perfectly. And then he gets divorced. I'm like, don't divorce her. She's the only one in the family.
Keep her for the Snickerdoodles.
Keep her for the Snickerdoodles, man. You got to she was the only one. Because people, don't get me wrong, some girls, even you, over our 20 plus years marriage, you've been close. Sometimes the flavor's pretty close, but they're flat. They're always flat. No one can make puffy Snickerdoodles. So, after years, you finally just gave up. You're like, fuck it. I can't do it. I'm never going to make them as good as Grandma. My husband's always going to bitch. So I kind of left it alone. It's been years.
I even called Grandma multiple times going, what am I doing wrong?
You've tried a bunch. Yeah, you've called my mom. You've called Grandma. You've tried a bunch. It just didn't work out. So we were up in Reno. We were actually in Minden at the Sun Valley Fox's house, and St. Donna, my sister-in-law, came out to where I was sitting on their deck, and she handed me some peanut butter cookies.
Oh my God!
And they were thick, they were fluffy, and they tasted just like Grandma's peanut butter cookies. And I'm like, oh my God! So I'm like, Donna, you got to try my grandma's Snickerdoodle. Please try them. Nobody can make them. Nobody can do this. I didn't have any idea you could bake so well. These taste like grandma's peanut butter ones. Perhaps, maybe, you could do the Snickerdoodle ones. Now, listen, I know what everybody out there is thinking. All the people listening to the podcast are going, I could make those. I make Snickerdoodle. My family loves my Snickerdoodles. Yeah, nobody makes them like grandma. Sorry, it doesn't happen. So the other day, about 3 days ago, I tell my wife, I say, hey, real quick, text Donna, email Donna the Snickerdoodle recipe. And you know why I want her to do it, because I'm tired of not having Snickerdoodles. Mm-hmm. So you did send it to her.
I did.
And then you rolled up your sleeves and you started making them again. Now, you haven't even tried to make them in years.
Your Honor, in my defense, I've seen, you know what's funny is Snickerdoodles is in almost every baking book. And everybody's recipe is slightly different.
Yeah.
And I just got a new cookie cookbook.
Yeah.
And it was in there, and I was kind of looking through it to see how similar it was to your grandmother's and stuff. And I'm like, I gotta try this recipe again. I said that 2 days before you asked me for St. John.
Total Your Honor, bullshit. She just did it because she was pretty sure that St. Donna was going to make the Snickerdoodles correctly. Maybe not the first try, but make them correctly. And I was going to praise Donna. Oh, thank you, Donna. Thank you
Your Honor,
for these Snickerdoodles.
He's full of shit.
Thank you for these, Donna. And I'm sorry my wife, after 27 years, could never make them correctly. Thank you, Donna, for doing such a good job. You didn't want to hear that, so you tried one more time.
And
out of nowhere, Snickerdoodles weren't even on your radar.
Tell the judge. Hold on.
You hadn't tried Snickerdoodles in 7 years. You were not.
I think it's longer than that. Yeah. I think it was longer than that.
Yeah, you gave up on that. Ship sailed a long time ago. So you rolled up your sleeves, and I'm like, "What's going on in the kitchen?" Like, I'm making Snickerdoodles.
But I've learned a lot about baking and recipes and stuff from then until now.
I would agree with that. You've been
researching, watching, stuff like that.
I would say the last 7 or 8 years, you have just dove into cooking and baking of all kinds.
Yes.
I mean, really going after
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really like it a lot.
Your Honor, she makes these Snickerdoodles.
Uh-huh.
And they're almost perfect. I mean, there's a little tang that I get in the corner of my jaw when they're made right. A little tang of a sweet, like, oh my gosh, and it just gets you right there. She nailed it. They were thick. They were tall. For the first time, they weren't flat.
I know the secret.
And the only thing that was a little off, and it was just visual. I'm telling you, I could eat those Snickerdoodles like I did my grandma's all day. Your Honor, she made them perfectly. They weren't quite as big. In fact, Jade, our daughter, came up and said, "Did you try Mom's Snickerdoodles? They're perfect. They're just like Grandma's. They're a little small." And I noticed they didn't split across the top. My grandma used to make them, and they were big, and they would split across the top, have these little break open, but yours were perfect.
And I told you I have the resolution for both those things.
Okay, what was it? What was it?
Okay,
what do you think?
First of all, your grandma's recipe, or how she told me, is so old school. It's shortening. Shortening is in the recipe.
They don't use shortening anymore?
Well, you can, but not many people use it. You can still get it or whatever,
all
but
right.
You can do a crossover of just butter, like the same amount of shortening to
okay, I got you.
butter. So that's what I did. I replaced the shortening with butter. So
Well,
that was the first thing I changed. Okay. The second thing is that nowadays, remember back in the day when your mom made cookies, you just put it on a tablespoon and you just kind of slid it off the spoon to measure the size.
Right, or you'd roll them in a ball.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did roll them in a ball, but I have a scoop to get them into a ball shape, and I only have one size. I found out, I didn't know this, news to me at 56 years, they have different sizes of scoops, like they look like ice cream scoops. So if you want a bigger cookie, and you want them all to be consistent.
Bigger scoop.
You get a bigger scoop. I didn't know that.
Okay.
So
all right.
I only used what I had. So that's why you had small cookie.
Okay, so the size.
So as I've been reading about Snickerdoodles, I just got that new recipe book I told you. And this pastry chef, who's made cookies her whole entire life, told me that when you roll the Snickerdoodles in a ball and then you put them in the sugar, cinnamon mix, take them back out and double dip, put it in cream, the side that you're going to put up, and put it back into the cinnamon sugar.
Oh.
Put the cream side up, and it will crackle in
So what you did was just you roll it into a ball, dip it in the cinnamon sugar, and put it on the pan. And now you're saying you roll it into a ball, dip it in the cinnamon sugar,
cream,
dip it in cream, dip it back in, and the cinnamon sugar, and put it on there, and it'll crackle open.
That's what she's telling me.
I get all this, and I'm very pleased that you finally made Snickerdoodles the way my grandma did, and they tasted good. I'm just submitting to the jury and the judge that the only reason you chose to do it was because you knew that Donna was coming. You haven't tried them in 7 years, and when I said give the recipe to her, you decided I better try one more time so I don't look bad.
No, I never said that.
That's
That
what
never
went on in your
came
head.
out of my mouth.
No, but that's what went on in your brain.
And then I just asked you, so what cookie should I try again or next time? And you're like, Snickerdoodles.
Well, yeah, I want to do, but the next.
And peanut butter fudge.
Well, that I was going to say the next challenge is my mother's peanut butter fudge, because she's got some weird thing, and I'm not going to describe it right. I'm going to say it wrong. But there's some part of the process where you take a small ball, a dollop or whatever of it, and you drop it into a cup of water. And if it floats to the top, it's not right. If the peanut butter sinks to the bottom, it's not right.
I don't know about any of that witchcraft shit right there, so I got to call your mom about that.
You're going to have to call her and ask.
Because I think you're full of shit.
No, it was part of it. Ask her about the floating in the water.
I'm
not wrong about that. It stuck in my head as a kid. That's how she knew that everything was in there perfect, and then she would continue on. And she says, if it doesn't pass that, you've made it wrong.
All right. The moral of the story is, as a cook, a baker, whatever you want to call it, I really want to challenge you guys to get your family recipes. That is a lost art. Like when
I said no kidding. It's a lot. I agree with you.
When my mom passed away, I found her cookbook, and I'm talking these go back to like the 50s and 60s, and I was so thrilled to find these recipes, and I'm gonna rewrite them and pass them on to our daughters.
You know what I wish you'd do? What? Can you put the Gen X Talks has a Discord server where it's just chat rooms.
Yes.
But don't you have one for recipes in there? Like,
we do.
Why don't you put the Snickerdoodle thing on there and see if anybody can make it? Of course, I won't be able to tell the taste, but I'll be impressed if anybody can make one that looks like
That'd
Grandma's.
Be funny if you started getting Snickerdoodles in the mail.
Oh my God.
You can mail Snickerdoodles.
Yeah, but you'd have to do it really quick.
Yeah, you'd have to like overnight it or something. But
yeah.
Or unless they freeze them. I found out if you freeze Snickerdoodles, once they cool off and you freeze them,
they won't taste the same. Come on.
If you put them in the mail frozen, by the time they get here, you can do it. They could thaw.
Well, I'm just letting you guys know that the discord.gg/Gen X Talks. That's a free Discord, so just chat rooms for people our age. But we should put that recipe in there to make. All
right, I'll post it today.
I'd like to see if anybody can just give me a picture on that.
That'd be cool. Post the pictures.
Post the picture. I won't be able to tell flavor, but if it looks like it, I'll be impressed. Because even you, with the perfect cookies you made the other day, they weren't big enough. No cracks in the top. So I just wonder if anybody can do that.
Wow.
You did good.
So critical.
I'm not being critical. I'm
gotta have cracks.
I'm just telling you, it didn't quite. They were 99.99%.
I'm never gonna get it right, you guys.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So
yeah.
You gonna mention it?
Mention what?
Today.
Today what?
Do you know what today is?
It is September 19th.
You don't know what's significant about that day? You were there.
Oh, shit. Anniversary, birth date.
No.
First time you caught me cheating. I don't know.
It's not an anniversary, sorry.
Not something we celebrate.
Today's the exact day. 11 years ago, we found out I was diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh, my God. You're right.
11 years ago.
Wow.
Our world changed. Our world got rocked.
Yeah, we all got cancer to some degree that day.
So it's kind of cool that the cancer podcast got released.
Yeah, I knew to release. You told me to try to release it in September.
I did.
We did.
September is actually National Awareness Day for blood cancer too, leukemia.
Wow, how fortuitous is that?
Yeah.
I sent all the stuff back to Torquestrap Grant. Back in Miami, he did all the editing to make the sound even out, the pictures even out, and it was just so much work, and he got it done. He sent it back to me, and then I edited it together, but he did a bulk of the work on that.
What was it like? We just should tell people backstory about that podcast. We had to do it over 2 days.
It was, we did of course, it was years in the making. We kept saying, we're going to do it. Then the key one was getting Dr. McDreamy down here, with Marcy and Dr.
From a doctor's point of view, but also he was significant there. At the end.
He was involved in it, and then we had to get Iceman from Bodfish here, and he was in Arizona, and he had a role in that too.
Yeah. Somebody wrote me and said, "Too bad we didn't have Connie," but I had written, and I'm going to say this right now because people are going to wonder who Connie is.
Right.
Connie ended up slowly just going back to her normal life. But then over the last 11 years, some significant, difficult times hit her and her family.
Very bad.
And she kind of just disappeared. But I am in contact with her sister, so I know where she's at. But that's kind of how angels are, aren't they? They just kind of come in and come out.
We knew who she was.
Right.
We were kind of friends. And then she appeared as your guardian angel every single day.
Yep.
And every time you were in the hospital, every time you had to go back in.
But people asked where she was, why she wasn't.
A year and a half, she was there.
Yeah. People wrote me and asked where it happened to her, why she wasn't on the podcast.
Just like she came into this, appeared, she disappeared the same way when it was over.
Yeah.
She would not even, and I know Connie very well, she would not want to do a podcast.
No.
She wouldn't be interested. She might listen to it, but she would not want to be part of it. Even if she hadn't disappeared, she wouldn't be here for it.
But she did witness
everything.
many of the events that we talked about in there.
Every part of it. Yeah. So going back to the conversation, it was difficult to get everybody here. We got Damon and Marcy down here around
December, and then
it was sometime
January
in the fourth quarter of it was in winter.
Quarter? Are we playing football?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we got them back again a couple of months later and got Tony up here, got Iceman up here, and then finished it. But it was a couple months apart, and we tried to get everything together. And then it was still almost a year before we edited it together because we had, 6 hours of footage.
There was a lot.
So even now, the podcast, I blended them both together. They're on Spotify. You go to our website, genxtalks.com. It's one of the first things you see. And there's links right under the picture. There's links for the video version part 1, the video version part 2, and I put the whole thing together. Parts 1 and 2 are now up on Spotify under audio only. And you can listen to the whole thing in one long thing. And it's over 4 hours and 10 minutes long, 4 hours and 20 minutes long.
Yeah, you guys got to know that was really, I needed to do it for once. I needed to just sit down and tell the story. It was a very emotional release about that. I want people to know it really hit home and brought back memories that were so tough. But I am so glad I did it. There's so many things, so many replies we're getting. I think the most emotional replies we're getting are people that say that they'll tell their story right there in the comment section. They're telling their story, and I get it and I feel it. But the ones that hit me the hardest, there's a few comments in there where they say, "I just lost my wife. I can't listen to this right now." I've seen.
I just lost my husband. I can't listen to this right now. And those are the ones that hit me the hardest because that's someone who's just going through what you just talked about.
Right.
That's a tough one for me.
And something I deal with quite often is why me? Like, why did I live and these other people don't? There's a reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's to put this podcast out.
Maybe it's because God knows I could not function without you. He's like,
that's probably true too.
You can't go. There's no way this dude can function on his own. You're going to have to stick around.
So that I just want you to know, I don't walk around with like this big, huge badge going, yes, it was a fight. It was very hard, but I do think of those other people that.
No, you don't. Not only do you not walk around with a badge and a conversation how you beat cancer, you withdrew. You didn't want to give speeches anymore.
No.
You didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want to go over it again. You didn't even want to be encouraging to others.
It was very difficult. It was a very difficult time. Going through cancer is hard on no matter what you have, whatever cancer you have. It's a challenge.
It's a life-changing mindset.
It's a challenge.
Well, just so you know, I'm totally aware of your position on that. And no, you don't wear it as a badge.
But I guess I'm at a point when we're talking about it, like when we did this, that I can talk about it. I can talk about it now and know that there's so much time now that it's never coming back. I've got over, they said I had to reach 10 years and I'm probably good to go for the rest of my life. I've made it. I'm fine. I know. Because after you go through and you're in remission, there's always that little noise in the back of your head going, well, when's it going to show up again? Right. I don't have that feeling anymore.
No, not at all.
So could I go out there and talk about it and talk to people about it? Absolutely. I could.
You're better with that now, but there was 10 years where you're like, can we just move on?
Because I was reliving it.
Yeah, I know.
Every single time.
I got you.
Anyways, let's stop.
Yeah, we'll stop about that, but it is up there. Go to Gen
Please
X
take
Talks.
a listen to it.
Go to genxtalks.com and scroll to the picture of it, and then all your choices are there.
Yes. So I have something else to talk to you about.
What?
Yesterday, I think it was like a couple days ago, I was out running errands.
Yeah.
And I come home.
What?
And there were wet clothes, your wet clothes, all over the floor.
No, okay, no. They were not all over the floor. Don't lie.
Okay.
You're making me out to be a slob, and that's not what I was.
Hence the fact, I'm going to note from previous podcasts that I said you leave your clothes all over the floor in the bedroom.
Why are we talking soft again? I really have a hard time chasing. I mean, if you want to talk soft, I'll do it with you.
All your clothes, including boxer shorts and socks, were wet on my laundry room floor. So it was on the floor.
It was on a towel, though. I put them on a towel. So what? What is your question? Why I didn't wash them? Why?
What happened? There's a story?
I didn't...
What, did you walk into the shower?
No.
Had to write something down?
Write something down. And I couldn't wait, so I just went in the shower dressed. Yeah, that was it. No, you know how you play that game with Riker where he grabs a ball or a toy or something and you fight with him. He's got it in his jaws and he's pulling away from you and you grab it with your hand and you shake it like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how you got wet with this. Okay.
I was just doing that out by the pool. I was over by the diving board and I had my back to the pool.
Okay.
And he was shaking and pulling and I was shaking and pulling. And then my phone rang and I grabbed my phone and I didn't let go. I just kept playing with him and I was trying to talk on the phone. I guess I took a step backwards or two, I was pulling away and I stepped on those, those river rock we have out there. They're big.
Yes.
I don't do well walking across those river rocks anyway. I stumble.
Aren't you a weeble wobble?
I am not a weeble wobble. I will fall down. And
obviously,
I don't walk on those very well anyway. And I was fighting with the dog playing, and I was winning. I was pulling him towards
important.
me.
That's important to put in this story.
I got to chalk this up as a win. And I guess I just stepped on the river rock wrong, and I slipped. Well, then I did let go because I was trying to catch my balance. But guess what's right there by the pool? The hammock. And my back of my knees caught the hammock, and over I went. I hit my back on the side of the pool, and I went in. And two things I did. I ran in the house and took off all my clothes in the laundry room, ran upstairs and got some clean clothes, and then I deleted the security camera footage.
I was just going to ask, damn it.
Not a fucking chance was I let that
I was just going to ask you. I'm going to go check the cameras.
Nope. I erased it because it had hurt too. I've still got a red mark on my back.
But you know what? What I realized? The dumbest shit happens when I leave the premises, the house.
I know. And I'm outside.
And I leave you alone.
I know. When I get outside, I don't know what it is. I mean, everything weird happens out. I mean, what are the chances that I'm going to be answering my phone and fighting with the dog and fall over backwards from the hammock into the pool? What's the chances like a couple months ago when I was whipped out my Johnson and a leaf fell from the tree and hit my Johnson right on the end of my rod? What are the chances that shit happens to me? Stuff like that happens in the backyard. I don't know. It's not. And
I'm never around to see this shit.
No, just the video. But I started erasing those because I'm afraid you're going to have a Gen X Talk staff Christmas party and bring out my highlights. So I started going through and erasing. Every time something questionable happens, I go get rid of it all the time.
Unbelievable.
Just telling you. So, yeah,
well, that sums up the mystery of the wet clothes.
How come you don't ask me if my back still hurts? I just told you I fell on my back.
You're the one that did the stupid thing.
And you can't be concerned. You can't be the loving, concerned wife.
Honey, how's your back?
Doesn't count anymore. If I have to tell you to say it doesn't count. Hey, I got something that's going to make you mad.
Oh, you haven't made me mad already?
No,
the shower,
This has been loving and kind. This one's going to make you mad. It's not even me doing it.
Shower was loving? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You just caused me more work, but whatever.
You could leave it up on the shower. It's important. I've explained that to you. All right.
Okay.
Federal law is coming.
Federal.
This isn't California.
United States of America.
What I'm trying to tell you. And they're going to put in cars speed devices that alert you. Your dash, a buzzing noise, and a voice will blare if you go 10 miles an hour over the speed limit.
And new cars coming out?
Coming out, yeah. Now, they're not doing it for a few years, but they're passing that regulation.
That's annoying.
That has to happen. And they're doing it through, they're not even doing it through Congress. They're doing it through the Transportation Board. They don't even have to have a law passed. This agency has oversight.
A safety issue.
Right. It's a safety issue. They're just doing it. And so I'm reading this article, and this is going to happen. If you're going 10 miles and over the posted speed limit, you have to have a car that knows that and can alert you visually and with an audible voice or signal. That's the first step.
Okay.
If you have an older car, when this rule goes into effect, or this law goes into effect, if you have an older car, you have to buy a device.
No, I don't.
And put it in your car.
No, I don't.
You don't even have to hook it up. You just got to have it sitting in your car someplace, plugged in, where it can measure how fast it's going and then tell you you're going. Yes, you do.
I don't have to buy that thing. They can't force me to buy something.
They make you buy insurance. Yep.
No, I don't have to buy insurance.
Yes, you do. You have to buy insurance. Yeah, well, technically you could be self-insured, but you'd also have to prove that. So this is what bothers me, because this is how the government works. I've been around the sun 56 laps.
Closing in on 57.
Closing in on 57. So here's the gig. First, it'll be, well, we're putting this as a warning device. It's a safety feature, of course. Just letting you know that you might have wandered over the speed limit, and we're just...
Oh, sorry.
We're just here to let you know. Then it'll be, now we're going to tell your insurance company. We're letting your insurance company know every time you go over the speed limit, we're gonna send a little text of Geico. Let Farmers and Allstate know you're going over the speed limit. They can drop you. You're like, well, you went over the speed limit 6 times in 1 month. You can either pay us more money, take a class, or we're dropping you. This way, they're only insuring good motorists. Here's the next thing. Let's go to Back to the Future. Let's go to Back to the Future 2. Remember when Marty got fired and every little machine in his house spit out the fax came out, you're fired?
Yes.
I think, now this is just Generation X. This is the way my stupid brain works. That thing is going to be in every car for the first couple years telling everybody you're going too fast. Then they're going to tell the insurance companies you're going too fast to try to get you to slow down. Then they're just going to print out a ticket right there out of your dashboard. You're just going to have a ticket. Print. Sorry, you went too fast 6 times. We're giving you a ticket. Oh, by the way, we deducted it from your bank account. You're now
It's almost happening.
$20 lighter.
It's almost happening. They send you notices if you use too much water.
Yeah.
Too much electricity.
I'm just telling you.
You're going to start putting little...
This is a rule. So just so you know, this is what thing. The insurance companies, the ticket, this is what's happening.
I'm never leaving my house.
Once I build you another house, you're staying there forever, just staying on the property, self-contained?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, now you know what I know. Those are my thoughts.
I know you.
Yeah.
Because you're the dumbest smart man I know.
Apparently. That's what we've learned today.
Yes. You always have a plan. You have a MacGyver way out of this.
I do.
Okay, go. I want to hear it.
I'm going to get an old car. I'm going to get like a car with no electronics. I'm going to get like a 71 Cadillac or something. No electronics, no trackable.
I wish I had my 68 VW Bug.
Yeah, that'd work. I'm not. And then when they say, well, you're going to have to buy that extra tracking device and put it in your car. Yeah, I did. Well, we've never seen you on the road. Yeah, I don't go anywhere. Fuck you. You know, and then when the cop pulls you over and says, you know, part of my thing now, because I have to check, is I need your license, registration, insurance, and I need to see your device. Are you carrying your traveling device? Because they're going to ask you for it. You leave it at home, they're going to go, where's your fucking device and is it plugged in? I'm going to say, you know, it's not working. It's just broken right. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to fix it, but it's not working quite right. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get an old car and stay off the grid.
You better hurry up and get old cars before they smash them all and take them off the street.
I got a few lined out. I'm ready to go.
All right.
I may even piss everybody off and drive an old Edsel. Big old fish-looking
boat. Holy man, we need a truck where we're going.
Hey, we have a truck.
Whoa! With electronics.
Oh yeah, it does.
I said a old truck.
Yeah, we need the one your brother sold, the Sun Valley Fox, the one he got rid of.
The one that was my dad's.
Yeah, that's what we need. That one. Tell him to go get it back.
69.
Yeah, 68 Chevy. Yeah, we need that one back.
It's gone.
Can't believe that. All right, real quick. So
3 on the tree.
MarcyZavala.com.
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 She cured your cancer pain you've had for 10 years. No more joint pain. No more all that pain in your joints and in your bones and your nerves that were just killing you. All that muscle pain.
I learned so much from her.
Yeah. Yes, it was expensive because of the testing.
It's so worth
which
it.
isn't her, by the way. She needs the testing. That's someone else. Everyone gets like, I want to do it, but it's so much money. It doesn't go to her. It's not her money.
No.
She just needs to be able to read the results.
No, totally
Anyway,
worth it.
so you're done with that. Everything's better, but then you develop this lower back pain, which we've talked about. That's killer.
Yeah,
It's just horrible.
yes.
And then you go see Dr. McDreamy says, no, I know somebody. I got you. And we went to Reno and saw Clinchy Jade.
No.
Clinchy Jade.
No. Her
What?
name is Jade.
Yeah.
She works at Clinch Performance.
Yeah, Clinchy Jade. I don't know what else to call her.
Don't
I can't
call her that.
If I call her Jade, we also have a daughter Jade. It's going to really get the confused. People are going to get confused.
Well, the next time we're in Reno, you got to meet her because you'll come up with something different. But
Fine.
she's Clinch Performance in Reno. She's a physical therapist and other things.
Okay,
I don't
look,
know
she's
what
Clinchy Jade. And she's Clinchy Jade, as we learned in the last podcast, in a creepy office.
Okay, we don't have to go there.
So Clinchy Jade in the creepy office, she does one exam, and you got many, many more exams to go, but she nails it. She says there's something wrong in this disc area. She goes, I don't know if your disc has moved. I think it has, but your nerves, you're swollen, it's inflamed, and where your nerves are, it's bad. And she works on you and says, don't bend over and don't lift anything up.
Heavy.
Yeah, which you immediately begin to do. On top of that, you've been taking your pain medication regularly. You've been putting the patches on your back, the lidocaine patches, regularly. You now got a back brace just to remind you.
Because that was St. Donna that gave me that.
St. Donna said, put a back brace on it, and it'll remind you not to bend over. And it does. And you have stuck to that religiously. You've done what Marcy said. Now you're doing what Clinchy Jade said. And I'm telling you, your back pain has gone down 80%. You function, you drive. There's moments you're like, okay, I did too much today.
Yeah.
I'm hurting. And you go back to your routine. Medication, hot bath, heating pad, and you're okay.
But it takes it away. I mean, it's not where I'm in pain for hours and hours.
So this is working. This whole plan is really getting you back in shape.
Yes.
Now, there's one thing I'm not happy with, and there's one thing that needs to be worked on.
Oh, why don't you just tell me?
I would love to. Thank you for asking. Dr. McDreamy now has to step up because Clinchy Jade says, hey, he's got to figure out with an x-ray and MRI, he's got to figure out what's going on. Is this surgery? Is this something we can lower the swelling and manipulate back into place? She says that's above her pay grade. But Dr. McDreamy's got to step up his game on that.
I'm going to make you eat shit right now.
And
I have a appointment, a Zoom call for tomorrow with marcyzavala.com to check in about all that information.
she can't order an MRI.
No, but she can tell him.
The big dog's got to do it.
He doesn't have to be there. She can give him all the
The big
information.
dog's got to make the call. You can't-
Right. But
Okay.
she can get all the information.
Okay, she can run the notes to the big dog, but the big dog's got to
Who
make
do you
the call.
think he tells what to do?
Well, okay, I'm not saying that Dr. McDreamy isn't sitting on a golden throne in the middle of the woods on Lake Tahoe, and Marcy's has to run up to him with
No.
all the information and hand it to him, and he sits on his throne with his crooked crown and goes, yeah, that sounds right. Go
That's
set
not
up an
how it
appointment. Go get her an appointment. And then Marcy runs back into town and does it. I'm not saying that's not how it works.
That's
You
not
don't
how
know.
it works.
It could work that way. You don't know?
No, it doesn't.
You don't know that.
It doesn't.
It could work that way.
It doesn't.
So if he deems it, I'm just saying he has to deem it so. He's got to make it happen. He's got to get the MRI. So that's the thing that needs to be
You're
worked on.
telling him how to be a doctor.
No, I'm passing along information. This is
You
what
just said he's got to get the MRI.
Clinchy Jade said so. She said so. I'm just passing along information. I'm just a dumb mechanic. I would never tell Dr. McDreamy how to do his job.
Sounded like you did.
Well, you're wrong. Now, that's the thing that needs to be worked on. The thing I'm not happy with, just by casual observation in our marriage, in the last 10 months of you working with Dr. McDreamy, marcyzavala.com, and Clinchy Jade, I got to tell you, your hormones are not in balance yet. You do not get up and look at me with that twinkle in your eye, with that little wiggle in your hips like you used to, and I'm waiting.
I'm not 20. I'm not 30 either. No. Then again, I'm not 40.
No, okay, well, that's not... Look it. I have expectations here, man.
Don't piss me off.
When you're rubbing on that hormone cream, I'm like, put another layer on.
Hey, buddy, it works both ways.
Oh, you don't have to. I can
I can turn it up.
I can turn it up.
Don't.
I just can't turn it off. I can little blue pill myself. You can't. You got to rub on layers of that shit.
Little blue pill yourself.
Just saying, So there's, men figured that shit out quick.
Yeah, that's never worked for you either.
No, I know. My body's like, fuck that shit. I'll decide what I want to do. Great.
Okay, Thor.
So anyway, there's so we are going back up. We have an appointment. You have an appointment with Clinchy Jade October 1st, which I'm really looking forward to.
Me too.
And hopefully, Damon was out of town. Damon and his Dr. McDreamy and his jet set lifestyle. He's in Florida. He's in New York. He's in Vegas. It's like, okay, well, maybe we'll catch him at home. So maybe we'll get to bump into him this time when we're up there. But we will be up there. You get the appointment. Plus, we get to work on the property. Sun Valley Fox and his tractor. We're going out there to rip up all those fencing and stack them so we can have the fencing put to the side. That way, JC can get out there with his crew.
I know. I have two things to tell you about that I thought of in my thoughts over while I was sleeping. When I pop up and then I lay back
We call
down.
that dreaming. When you have thoughts while you're sleeping.
No, I was awake.
We
so
call
it's
it
not
dreaming. It's daydreaming. Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking, we're going to stack all that fencing, which if anybody went on the property right now, there's no freaking way they could get those fencing out right now. But if we stack all the fencing, how easy is it for somebody to just take it and throw it in their truck? So I'm thinking we need to chain that together.
Yeah, because they
put a lock on it.
They couldn't cut a chain. That'd be pull up with a truck and five guys to rob you and go, okay, we've been stymied. They chained it.
Well, how are you going to stop them from taking
I'm going to hide it behind the barn, first of all. I'm going to put it behind the barn. No one's going to know it's there. I mean, if someone steals it, they can steal it. But this is a pretty nice tucked away place. It's not like people are roaming the neighborhood.
All right. That was the one thing. And the other thing was, shoot, I just lost it.
I guess we could throw it all in the back of Sun Valley Fox's truck and ask him to guard it.
No.
Well, what are you talking about? The chain's not going to do any good.
All right.
We're gonna get back up there and we're gonna have a chain with one link less. It's gonna they're gonna cut it off.
That was the first thing I thought of. I didn't say it was brilliant.
You know why? It's because not that it couldn't happen, but you're thinking with a very California mentality. We're gonna get robbed. We're gonna get stolen from us. Okay, can we give the good, kind-hearted people of Dayton, Nevada, the benefit of the doubt that there's some good people and we have some nice neighbors?
The 17,000 people that live there.
You know what I think? I'm going to flip coins on this. I think the guy came out and he marked the property. And he flagged it. He put the guy came out there and drew all the line. The surveyor. I think the guy behind us moved the fence line.
How's that?
I think he picked up the markers and moved them 20 feet onto our property. Because that one tree in the middle at the back, it was right up against that. And JC went out there and said, yeah, about halfway to the tree, the markers. And I'm like, no, the markers were pretty close to the tree. He goes, they're not anymore.
So do we have to have the surveyor come back?
Yeah, we got to call Christine and have the surveyor just redo that one line where we can say, quit fucking with my line. Because
we have to take pictures of that shit.
If that dude behind us, he has no idea who he's getting involved with if he's going to start this with me.
That was my next thing I thought of. JC said about we're going to clear off the fencing and the barbed wire and stuff on there. And JC says, I can have this whole land done in one day. But the guy behind us that bought the property, he's working it by himself.
Every weekend.
Yeah. And we're just going to come in and go, vroom.
Well, if he's moved that, if we go out there and he's moved that and the surveyor moves it back.
Are you going to have a little talk with him?
I'm going to have a little talk with him, straighten him out. Right. Day one, I cannot live on that property 30 years with, I just got to tell him right.
Knowing that the property line's moved?
Yeah, I was going to tell him, say, okay, you got away with one. I put the property line back. I'm going to tell you right now, you have no idea who I am. You have no idea how I've been raised or the things I'm capable of. I'm going to tell you right now, let's just be good neighbors because I promise you'd rather have me on your side.
So let's explain this real quick about that. There's no fence that runs through the 5-acre property.
Yeah, it's 5 acres that's been divided into 2.5-acre parcels. Right. One guy bought one, we bought the other. I asked before we bought it, I said it needs to be surveyed so I know exactly where the property lines are that I'm buying.
Probably that guy didn't have his surveyed.
He didn't. Yeah, there was no flags out there.
Right.
So the guy comes out for our side, does the flags all around the property. There's your 2.5 acres. The one back property line between ours and the guy behind us was pretty close to this one tree. It was not too far. And now it's like 20 feet further away. All the flags have been moved 20 feet inland.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I just was fuming about it, but we were in the middle of some serious talking, and we were going out to dinner with Ben Matlock and Big JC and stuff.
That needs to be taken care of.
Well, once the line gets put back, I'll take care of it the way I take care of shit. I'm just going to have to talk to the guy and straighten him out.
All right.
So, but that really fried me. I'm like, don't fucking touch my shit. Now I'm thinking, at first I'm telling you, everybody in Dayton is sweet and nice. Now I'm thinking, but you don't know. Maybe this guy's from California, maybe from like San Francisco or something. That
I
would
know where
explain
he's
a
from.
lot. You do?
His deed's been recorded. I checked.
Where's he from?
Carson City.
Well, then you should know better. You don't act like that. Carson City
I have his
people
name
are nice.
too.
Well, don't say his name.
I'm not. I'm just saying I know who he is.
Yeah, I just need to get a hold of him one time and go, all right, don't fucking touch that again. You know, you're not going to like what happens.
All right.
Don't.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, so that was something I thought I'd leave out of there. Anyway, so quick update before we go. I will not bore you guys with a big thing with Briggs and Jade.
No long stories.
No long stories, but we needed to set a time and we needed to book hotel rooms. And I told Briggs, I said, look, I will pay you a decent amount of money for you and a buddy to come up with us and help Sun Valley Fox and I in the tractor for 2 days. And I said, look at your calendar, make sure you're good. You can't change this. He goes, okay, Dad, I got it. I said, take your time. So he takes a couple days. He goes, okay, I got it lined out. My buddy and I can go. Isaac can go. I can go. We really need the cash. This will really help us out. And we're going to pay for the food all the way up. The food while they're there. We're paying for the hotel rooms. We're giving them cash for working those 2 days. We're coming back.
And I made the reservation.
Made the reservations. We get everything lined out. We get your brother, the Sun Valley Fox, on board.
Everybody had the dates.
He's clearing his schedule. St. Donna's clearing her schedule so she can drive you to your appointment while we're all working the property. Everything's a go. I even double checked with him a couple of days later. Said, okay, we're still good, right? Because we're investing some time in getting other people involved. You go, no, Dad, I got it. We're good, man. I'm really looking forward to the trip. And then yesterday, Briggs comes up and says, I can't go. I just realized it's Addie's and my anniversary. I can't go. And I want to say I was flipping out. You flipped out way, way bigger than I did. This is one of those moments where when we had our other sons and you finally got to the point of wigging out, you kicked them out. You went way past me. You flipped out. You said, get the fuck out of here. You don't live here anymore. You moved them on. They were wrong and you were right. You never get that way, and you've never been that way with Briggs.
I'm very patient. Very patient. I understand things come up. I get it, but I'm done.
I told him, I talked to him on the phone. I go, what the fuck, man? You gave me your word.
Yep.
And he goes, what am I supposed to do? I said, you turn around to your chick and go, I'm sorry. You're right. I should not have promised my parents that I'd go do this. I messed up on the date, but I gave my word and I'm going. We can celebrate our anniversary on a different day.
Yep.
I said, that is the correct response.
That's told him
what a grown-ass man does.
I told him his integrity sucks and he needs to work on it.
Now, this is the difference between Generation X and Generation Z.
Absolutely.
The way we were raised is like, yep, I know the whole thing sucks, everything's bad, but I gave my word, I gotta go. Generation Z, they think they can break their word, they can break a promise as long as they have a good story. Well, I did promise you, but something came up. I did give you my word, but things happened. You understand, don't you?
No.
No.
I don't.
You have to stick to what good is your word if you can just change it whenever you want? What is the point?
And we're on a time frame. This isn't something we could do like whenever.
And we're
on a time frame.
People lined out.
I had plans. I put plans in motion. Now I had to unravel them. And I just looked at him like, you little shit.
Oh, I know. I said, you still have a chance to do the right thing. Go tell her your word is all you have. It's very important. Tell her. I told him she will eventually respect you for being a man of your word. And he didn't. He caved. And luckily, you didn't even know I was doing this. I remember when I asked you, Ben Matlock never lost a case. He's our point man up there in Reno helping us out. His wife is it Christy or Christine? It's
Christine.
Christine
Matlock.
Christine Matlock, his wife. And she's absolutely wonderful. Not only is she gorgeous, she's super smart.
She gets things done.
So I texted her and said, hey, I got something weird to ask you, and not even sure how to put it. She goes, her response was, I specialize in weird requests. Let's go.
That's a little weird.
No, she got right in. No shame in her game at all. She's like, just hit me with it. What do you got? And I just said, listen, I explained the situation with Briggs. So I said, basically, here's the money I was offering him. Do you think you might find a couple guys? Because her husband and her, they're big in these businesses out here. And I didn't know if she was going to get a couple of college kids or whether she was going to get some of their regular crew to just work for some cash. I said, just if you can work something out, I know it's short notice. 15 minutes, Christine texted me back. She goes, she gave me their names. She goes, I got two guys. I think it was Marcus and Mike, or Marcus and Mark. They'll be out there on time. They got everything squared away. They're hard workers. Let's go. I was like, holy shit, Christine, that's fucking amazing. She goes, anything else? I go, no, not
at the moment.
Not the moment.
But we have you on speed dial.
I said, I'm going to put you on speed dial now. And I said, I don't want to circumvent Ben.
Right.
But Ben's so busy. He's got big stuff going on. I thought maybe if you call the wife and say she could work it into a conversation. She didn't even go to Ben. She's just going to go to Ben and go, yeah, the general came up with a problem and I solved it. He's going to be like, fine. So, and then she says the same thing we just talked about with marcyzavala.com and Dr. McDreamy. She goes, just tell me what's going on. He delegates it to me anyway. He has me do it. And I said, okay. So then the next thing I said, I know this is another weird one, but I'd like to show a picture of Ben, of you, and maybe of Big JC, where we can, when we're doing live streams, I could just throw a picture up and get everybody familiar. As the next year progresses, these are going to be players.
Right.
We can talk about it. Within 10 minutes, she had two of the pictures. She goes, I'm working on Joe's right now. Wow. I mean, she fucking... And then she says, and I go, well, I hope I'm not interrupting you. She goes, I've got COVID. I said, ooh, I'm sorry. She goes, yeah, I'm down for the count right now. And there she is knocking this shit out, and she's sick.
Wow, that's cool.
Imagine how much Christine Matlock can get done.
When she's feeling 100%.
When she's feeling it, yeah. So
ooh, that's a girl to have in your corner.
I'm telling you. So that worked out really, really well.
All right, so game on. It's still the same dates.
Yeah, same dates, only now we don't have to pay for all the food, for all the drive up and drive back. We don't have to pay for the hotel rooms. It's a game changer.
I changed everything yesterday.
But I'm deeply disappointed in Briggs in him not keeping his word. He just thinks it's going to be okay. That's what their generation thinks.
Well,
it'll
Mom's
be fine.
wrath has been...
It'll blow over. Everything's fine. And
not Mom's wrath.
It's not really going to with me. This is something I told him. I said, I failed you as a father. I said, if I didn't communicate how important this was, you've seen me behave correctly in these situations my whole life. And I have to stick it out with what I said.
You've even shown examples of stepping up for our parents and doing things.
Tons. And if I didn't teach him that, then I really failed badly. So
well, no, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he'll grow up. I don't know. But
so the update that's the update on Jade. The update on Briggs. The update on Jade is the only thing of significance is we talked about off and on her work, her relationship. We got it, but we touched a little bit on she never comes out of her room. She comes home. She's got 2 days off. We don't see her. She stays in that fucking room. I sat her down the other day. I had you go upstairs and wake her up. You knocked on her door, got her up, and you said, Dad wants you showered and dressed and downstairs in the studio right now. So she did. And she came down here and I said,
no, she didn't. 2 hours later.
Okay. 2 hours later, she came down here and.
That was right now.
Yeah, she didn't come right now. It was her time. She runs on Indian time.
Exactly.
So she came downstairs and I said, I've tried talking to you for weeks that this is unhealthy. The way you're conducting yourself is not good. No one ever sat in their room all day long and became a millionaire. No one ever sat in their room in a dark room under the covers on their phone and had a husband and 3 children and a mortgage. That's not how you get it. All the things that you want in life that you've told me you want, nobody would ever say, well, lock yourself in the room 12 hours a day and all of your dreams will come true.
It'll come knocking on your door.
I said, you're not listening. So I'm going to make it clear. Anytime that you're off work by 9 o'clock in the morning, you better be up, you better be showered and dressed for the day. And the door to your room is to remain open. You're changing, go in the bathroom or shut your door. But if that door is open, anytime someone goes by it, the dogs come up and check on you. That door better be open. And I said, if you don't start doing this, you can't live here anymore. And she looked at me and started to cry. And she goes, why? I said, because if you're going to move in with one of your friends, they're not even going to let you be in your room 12 hours a day. So if I have to kick you out to make this
go do it somewhere else.
Right. To make this an improvement, even moving back in with that boyfriend that isn't really good for you, he wouldn't let you sit there all day long. He'd be like, get the fuck up. Get out of the room. We got stuff to do. Open the drapes. Let's go. So whatever it takes to get you out of this routine, that's what I'm doing. You can either do it here or I'll kick you out. And that's the only Jade update I have for right now. But that happened. And I said, can't do it anymore. You can't live like this. You're not listening. You're not doing it on your own. Get the fuck on. So
all right. Well, my back's kind of hurting. I got to stand.
Wow, that's uncommon.
I've been up a long time already today.
I know. As soon as this is over, you're going to go to sleep and I got to start editing.
I don't know about that.
So a real quick automotive one. These are just silly little things that I'll throw out there for you. I thought this the other day. I was working at a garage one time when I was a young man, and this guy was just hustling, this old guy. Of course, I say he's old. I was 19. He was probably 45, so I called him old because anybody older than me is an old man. Anybody younger than me is a kid. And he says, the secret to working fast in automotive, you got to go take a piss.
What?
And I said, wait, you got to go piss? He goes, no. He goes, when you have to go to the bathroom, don't go. He goes, he goes, you don't want to work till you're going to burst. He goes, but when you have to go to the bathroom, don't go. Keep working. You will work faster.
Does it keep you focused?
Did
you try it?
I did. Yeah.
Of course you did.
It works a little bit because you're in a hurry, but I don't know that I agree with that. Years later, another old guy, he's working on this car in the stall next to me, and he's got the key in the ignition, and he's got the door open. So one stall away, I hear bong, 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 bong. It's the key chime, the door chime. I find like, dude, pull the key out. He goes, no.
It's annoying.
He goes, it's annoying and it makes me work faster. He goes, you got to, if you have that on there, you get annoyed and you know that the only way to solve it is to finish this car so you can turn it off.
Oh my God, mechanic logic, I swear.
I said, or you could just reach in there and turn it off. You could just do that. He goes, no.
That's common sense. We can't do that.
He goes, I put it in my mind that I leave the chimer going and it becomes irritating and I focus and I try to get this job done so that I can get on to the next car. Yeah, I tried that one too. That one just annoys me. I didn't like trying to go to the bathroom. I didn't like holding my pee. I didn't like the door chime thing. Not my cup of tea, but just letting you guys know.
What made you go faster when you were doing money?
It was always money. It was always trying to beat flat rate time. You know, you look at a job, especially one you've done before, and they say, hey, you got a timing belt, you got a tune-up, you got an oil change, a transmission service, and you got front brakes, and the whole job pays, 10 hours. Man, I wanted to finish it in 4.
That was your challenge.
That was my challenge. I wanted to get so fast. I wanted to buy all the right tools.
What's the book time? I'll beat it.
I wanted to beat book time. That was my whole thing, is to be proud of it. And then you go to the owner of the shop or you go to your service manager and you turn in your card and you're like, look, here's my sheet. It was 10.5 hours and I was done in, 4.2. Because now I can get it, because I'm making them more money. Now they can get more hours through the shop too. Yeah, you always wanted to be the hot shot who could beat flat rate and do a good job. And the other part of that was no comebacks. All the shops monitored how many times you fixed a car and had to come back.
Right.
And I think the shop average was like 7%. 7 out of 100 cars came back with a customer going, hey, something's not right here. And I always wanted to be under 2%. No matter what, because you have things that go wrong. A part can fail, and that's considered a comeback. Not just you left something loose or you didn't put something on. So parts can fail.
I understand.
So you're always going to get a little bit of that. But I always want to keep mine under 2% and be able to break flat rate.
All right.
So did I tell you our millennial son, our tree hugging, pot smoking, millennial liberal computer repair son called, and he says he's trying to figure out an alternator, and he goes, I can't figure out. He goes, an alternator has AC current. I said, well, yes. He goes, well, I can't figure out anywhere in the car that has AC current. And I go, it doesn't. I go, the AC current is just inside the alternator. There's a rectifier in the alternator. I think it's a rectifier. So it changes it from AC to DC current, cuts it off. It cuts off the current from flowing up and down, AC, DC, cuts off the AC current and just lets the DC out. I go, an alternator just produce, when it comes out of the alternator, it's just DC current. He goes, oh, okay. Then I try to tell him that, because he's trying to figure out AC versus DC, where in the car the AC current is. And I try to tell him, I say, well, before there was alternators, there was generators. He goes, what's a generator? I said, this is going back a bit, but generators did the same job as an alternator. They generated electricity, hence the name generator, but we had to polarize them. He goes, what does that mean? I go, well, if you didn't polarize your generator, it wouldn't work. And if you polarize it the wrong way, it would charge the battery backwards.
Oh.
I said, he goes, things were a lot more complicated back then. You guys had to know the stupidest shit. So anyway, there's 3 quick stories for you now. My automotive lessons are done for the day, but that's just to catch up because we're running long. How long do you think we've been on? Remember, you said, let's not go over an hour. Because
I know, it's over an hour.
Because the cancer podcast is out there and they won't want to listen. Let's keep it to 50 minutes. And where do you think we are?
Hour 30.
Hour 25. You're pretty close.
I knew we were out there somewhere.
Why are you talking light again?
Oh my gosh, would you stop?
Okay, we'll talk like this the rest. I'm with you.
Thanks.
I'll just talk like this too.
Goodbye, everybody.
Nobody can hear you when you talk I'm okay.
Would you stop?
Right now they're turning up their volume so they can hear both of us. Before, they only had to turn up their volume to hear you.
Piss me off.
Better than being pissed on. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. That's a wrap. Please listen to the Cancer Podcast. We are finally able to struggle through and get it out. It's really important. Maybe it won't be important exactly to you, but maybe if you share it with someone, it'll get shared enough times that it will reach someone who needed to hear it. Maybe that's the deal. Maybe it'll come around to a point where someone who it needs to reach, if it only reaches one person around this planet, that it helps them make a decision or try, then that's the goal. So if that happens, it'll happen because you guys share it. Email the link to a few friends and let's see what they do. Encourage them to do the same thing until it gets to the right people, because it is an amazing story that has less to do with us and more to do with God stepping in where people couldn't. And if you don't believe me, listen to the story. All right, we got to get out of here. We are long, and I got to try to get this podcast ready to drop for tomorrow because, hey, we're on time for once.
I know. We're back in a rhythm.
Technically, if this drops tomorrow on time, and I know I haven't said this in probably 10 months, technically, Two Bear has to buy donuts for the entire dealership.
Oh, I forgot about that. When do we get donuts?
We're not allowed to have them. Dr. McDreamy says no donuts.
Well, unless we don't have to tell him.
What did you just say?
We don't have to tell him.
unless they make Dr. McDreamy let us have them if they had gluten-free,
no sugar.
That's
called dirt.
If they made donuts out of cardboard, he'd let us have some. That's cool.
No, there's calories in cardboard.
Calories in cardboard. Yeah, blew our calorie count. All right, listen, we got to get out of here. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you listened in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember 2 things. Wherever you go in this world, there you are. Number 2, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And I'm out.